Hey guys, we are at our friend Joe's home. It's a friend of Matt's, business partner with Obsessed Engineering. So we're in his business home. So basically he's got a home in Wisconsin, but he also has a home down here in Middleton. And when he has to travel down here for Obsessed Engineering, then he's gonna be staying here. He got tired of staying in a hotel. So this is a beautiful location, but as you can see, it's not a big room, but he wants great sound. So he said, hey guys, what should I put in here? Of course, I love JTR. Matt loves JTR now. He's a new fan. And Rusty loves JTR. Yeah. But we can't put big, massive speakers in here.
Well, we tried and we got vetoed, like before we even got started.
So
it didn't go well.
This is different. So this is not conventional. You can't buy it like this. But we know that these speakers aren't beautiful for a living room. Kalos series isn't available yet. Jeff's working on some really pretty ones, but they're also a little bit more expensive. We wanted something to be relatively budget friendly. We know these aren't super inexpensive, but they're still relatively inexpensive in the JTR series. And Joe just happens to be good at woodworking, and so he's gonna make them look beautiful. We'll tell you about that later on in the video. So these are a 10-inch coaxial driver. So we got a mid-range. Oh, don't forget to pull these off. That's an
important pro tip.
Yeah, definitely. You won't get any sound out of it that way. We're gonna run out of light here, and I don't have any lighting, so we're gonna do the best we can, and then we'll finish up in the kitchen. But we've got an NAD 778 down here. We're gonna be connecting. Joe doesn't even know if he's gonna like these speakers. We think he will, but we're gonna see if we can
He's not a
convince him.
converted believer yet.
No.
He has never heard JTR speakers, and he's a real audio snob,
Yeah.
self-proclaimed. So
and Joe,
he's a Bryson guy, and he's got some really sick equipment. He's got an over-the-top theater, but he's sophisticated, unlike me and you. he's more like Matt. He's a gentleman.
He's kind of bougie.
A little bougie.
But he just wants good sound. And so in here, we're not doing Atmos. We're probably going to end up with, we may do 3 speakers up front. We may do 2 more in the rear. But again, that's going to be some challenges. So these are just some things that we've got to figure out during this, this build. So this is going to be multi-videos. We're going to be trying these out today. We want to hear them. We've also got some ELAC speakers. I think they're over there. Those are super budget friendly, so we're gonna listen to those. We're just gonna have some fun and figure out, is this a good fit? And if it's a good fit, if he really loves these things, then he's gonna take these and refinish it, put a beautiful cabinet on here.
Build a stand.
Yeah. And it's an experiment. We don't know how it's gonna work out. I think it's going to work out great, but we won't know.
This was my idea. Is like, I was going to do a 110 HT system in my home theater until I heard the full Magilla. And I can't do that.
The full Magilla?
Yeah. And so when I heard the full system, then we put it in Helen. And so Joe's now the guinea pig. So I was going to be the guinea pig. Now he's the guinea pig in a normal room, in a normal house, with and doing 5 110s, which most JTR systems are set up. They're at the rears of the Atmos. So we're going to do them all in 110s and see how it sounds.
Yeah. And they're really high-end coaxial drivers. So, and it's the most tasteful thing in the JTR lineup right now, because this is the smallest speaker, and it's not small, but it's a big bookshelf. Yeah, correct. But it can work in this room. These stands are just some stands that Michael had laying around. Yep. So this is the before photo, not the after. Yeah. We're just gonna set them up, listen to them, see if we can win Joe over, and then compare them to the ELACs just for fun, because we don't have anything else to compare them to. But one thing we know for sure is these speakers are terrible. Absolutely terrible, and that's not gonna fly. But who knows, maybe we end up with the sound bar. I hope not. So the one thing that I love about these is they come very well packaged. This cardboard is thick, and it's not cheap either. Yeah. He's got it taped on all sides, so I don't have to worry about cutting a speaker, because it's so...
There's like 1-inch foam in there.
Yeah, this foam is insane. These do not get damaged in shipping. Now, because these, you can't buy them this way. You already said that, right?
Yep, correct.
These are completely bare, no finish at all. Jeff's probably freaking out that we're showing this on camera because he doesn't like that.
This is my secret ploy to convince Joe to make Veneer beautiful living room speaker.
Yeah.
We're certainly going to do that with Kalos, but I think this is a viable solution as well. This 110 system.
All right, let's get this out. And that's it.
So here's what we're looking at. So one thing that I did notice too, just being able to see this in person, this is thick. I mean, this is Baltic birch. There's one right here already unpackaged.
With no grill cloth.
Yeah. So, we're going to figure out what we're going to put on it. If it's even a viable solution, there's no reason to put grill on it if, Joe doesn't like these. I mean, he's already bought them. So these aren't on loan or anything. So they're his. And if he doesn't like them, we'll figure out somebody who will like them in the community.
Oh, yeah. Trying not to cut the actual speaker.
So Jeff makes all these out of Baltic birch, which is super, super dense. You can see right here.
They're all cut on CNC, so the cabinet boards are super accurate.
So it's not your typical MDF. It's stronger and lighter weight. And what did you say? These were 7-ply? You can count the plies.
Yeah, you'd have to count the plies.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's 7-ply.
Yeah, but the front face is bigger.
That's 13-ply. Usually 3/4 inches. Well, what we call 3/4. It's metric because it comes from the Baltic states.
Except most of this Baltic birch, Joe was educating us on wood earlier. He said it used to come from Russia, but we can't import it from Russia. So more than likely it's coming from Ukraine, right?
A lot of it right now is coming from Ukraine.
Yeah, but I mean, it's great material, and you could potentially just stain this, but it would have to be finished with like all miter joints and all that, right?
Right. Yep.
But it's not like it's plywood.
Right. This is a construction grade material. You can see the football, they call that.
Yeah.
So that was a void, and they'll fill that with that football shape. So yeah. So this isn't intended to be.
It's not meant to be seen on the outside. But when we show you what we're working on, or what Joe's working on with the veneer, I think it's going to look pretty classy.
So banana plugs are my jam, man. I love banana plugs. Makes it simple to install. You can see back here we've got 4 keyholes. So if Joe really likes these, what he's thinking of doing is he'll remove these brackets and then he'll fill this in, make this all smooth, just so it looks nice. Even though most people aren't ever going to see the rear, he just has the ability to do that. So Rusty's going to get the calibration mic out here.
Yeah, I'm going to do just a real basic, like 1 or 3 point calibration, just so we can get all the levels and stuff set.
Yeah.
We just want to do a quick listening session and get an impression.
I'll tell you what, I'll make full Dirac live bass. What is it?
Bass control?
You like the bass control?
It's so much better.
It is.
It is like remarkably better. I mean, totally different level.
I mean, you only need it if you have like subs.
I love the Perlisten guy's suggestion is just do a shell filter at 300 hertz down, and let your speakers do what they do above that.
Yeah.
Is that the same thing as a curtain?
Yeah, they call it a curtain. Mm-hmm. Joe actually ordered a Marantz Cinema, was it the 50? So he got the Cinema 50. It was scheduled to show up, but he wasn't here, so they wouldn't release it without a signature. So I guess it's coming. It is coming tonight?
Might be coming.
So it might even happen when we're filming this. But so we're going to use the NAD T778. So we'll check that out, see how it sounds, and but it's got Blue OS, so we can stream high res, and just do some 2-channel listening. No subwoofer.
I was going to ask Michael to center up these speakers, but I know how that's going to go.
Oh, what? They think my eyes are crooked, guys. Y'all believe that? Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna let you pick it up. I don't want to drag it.
Yeah. Here, you want to give me? I'm gonna kind of tow it. Probably. I think I'm just gonna angle these right to the middle position.
Okay. So, come towards me. Yep. Keep coming. Probably about right there. Yep.
Uh-oh.
Maybe
Another power.
Yeah, power
I
strip.
can help you out with that.
You got a little power strip, Joe?
need?
A little power strip.
Yeah.
I've got a janky one, but I've got a decent one in the other room. But we'll give you the janky one.
We see.
So part of this is Joe is still outfitting this room. So he said the wrong rug came. The couch is not exactly like he ordered. He ordered some short backs and it came with the tall backs. This one was supposed to be on a little swivel. It's not swivel. So they're going to figure out what they're going to do there. He's got, is it a BDI cabinet that he ordered?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So a BDI cabinet's going to go up here. If he likes the system, then we're going to put one of the 110s on its side below the TV here. So a lot of this just is literally a work in progress. We're just going to figure it out as we go, find out what sound he likes. Is this going to be a good fit for his space? And if it is, then he's going to make some wood veneers over here, and we'll come back to this a little bit later. I'm going to let him explain what he wants to do there, and he gave us some really cool education. I'd love to share that with you guys as well. So you guys are seeing the raw behind the scenes. So Joe's got a little lamp here. He's going to bring some from the other room because he's got lighting up here, but they're not connected yet. So electrician's got to come and add those and get those wired up. This is the only lighting really in the home right now other than the bedrooms. So we'll see if we can get some extra light in here because it's going to get dark here really quick.
You got this in.
All right, we got some lighting coming in here.
Yeah,
we're going to make
new place.
This whole thing's going to be makeshift right now, at least till we get it dialed in. But
This guy here.
this is just the beginning stages of this. So again, we just want to bring you along for the ride.
I got towards the middle, just like 2 inches. That's good. And direct, that looks dead nuts. This one I need to turn out towards me. More, right there. That looks pretty good. Are they pretty lined up? Like it looks good, pretty good.
It looks great.
He's a plain Jane, man. Yeah, this is going to be cool. This is going to be different.
Yeah.
I think he's going to like it, to be honest with you. I really think he's going to like it.
I think he's going to disappoint us all. Hate it.
You never know with Joe. But that's the fun of it. I mean, we get to try something out, see if it's going to work, see if it's a good fit. But there's going to be some problems we got to overcome. So part of that problem is making this thing look really beautiful. But I'm confident that he can do that. No problem. All right, we just finished the direct. Joe, you want to go head over in the center? We'll let you listen to some tracks that you're familiar with. All right, so I want to show you, they are multitasking. Rusty has one remote, and Matt has the Apple TV remote. So
this is how pros do it, man.
I'll tell you, man.
We don't want to waste any time.
This is called efficiency. We're losing light out here, so we got to hurry. All right, so we just did a little bit of listening session. These are definitely, you got to have a subwoofer with them. They are only rated down to about 80 hertz. And so we're going to swap them out with the ELACs. Where are those at?
They're back here.
There we go. So I did a review on these. I think they sound really good. They're super budget friendly. I want to say, what are these?
Like 600 a pair, I think.
Yeah, so definitely super affordable, but we're going to get these set up. Definitely a nicer cabinet. I mean, it's just like a veneer.
And we're not like comparing these head to head. It's just we happen to have them and we needed an excuse to get them out.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, let's get them out here.
Well, I've been wanting Matt to hear them. I've been wanting you to hear them.
Yeah.
I've heard them. Like I said, I think they sound really good for, for
and these
super
are
budget friendly.
bookshelves, so they can be played without a sub. They play down to about 40 hertz, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get a little bit more low end extension from these. So, but yeah, let's swap them out.
All right, I'm just gonna set these on the counter here for a second. Something else is these are ported on the back, and I assume that's gonna give you a good amount of output, right?
I would think so, because we've got some rear boundary here. Over there, you're gonna get some corner loading.
Let's see, I can't see, there it is.
So I believe these are a 6.5 inch woofer, probably about a 1 inch tweeter, soft dome.
Versus a 10-inch coaxial.
Compression driver. So it's gonna have a totally different sound, I would imagine.
Hey, how's it going? Man, we've been waiting for you. Thank you.
Need me to sign?
Yes. We can't answer the door right now.
I don't know if I really want to redo all this.
Thank
Should
you,
we?
Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
I don't think it's going to change the sound that much, but we should at least open it, right? All right.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
All right, so we got these special requests from Jeff, reluctantly, I might add, because these are bare Baltic birch plywood. And this is like if you put no finish at all, you see all the nail holes that have been patched. We said, well, we want to take this base bare system and make it pretty. Joe is a woodworking expert, and we challenged him to come up a way to make these pretty, and he got some wood samples for us. And what are these, right, first?
So we've got 4 different, well, it's walnut. These 4 are walnut. They're just different grades or different cuts. So this is what they call a face cut. That's a full figured, so that would be the face grain of the tree. Mm-hmm. Then this, you're starting to get into the quarter sawn. This, you can see, isn't as high of a grade quality. This is a straight grain quarter sawn, and this is another one. This one, these 2 here are more what they call premium, so you get more of the darker finish in them than some of the other ones that you would get some of the light. Then down here on the end, we have a wood that's out of Africa, which is Wengi. And it's, you can see, and then what I did is I just took some oil to see what it would look like if you put oil on. You can see how much that darkened up. These darkened up quite a bit. One of the things that I would do with Wengi, because I think that gets to be pretty dark, I would probably just like lacquer this with like a matte lacquer. Mm-hmm. And I think that would just protect the wood, and it would, you know, give it a little bit of protection and some sheen, but, you know, it would keep that real cool look. I think we're leaning towards this one, which is a quarter sawn. So this is from GL Veneer. So this is a walnut.
Yeah, so all of these...
And they have a paper back on them.
These are veneers, which a veneer is just like really, you were telling me it's wood that's been cut with a razor that's extremely sharp.
Pretty much, yeah.
And they kind of like peel a tree.
Yep.
Like you're peeling an apple, but they peel the whole tree.
This is 10 mils thick. So the idea would be that we would...
Look at how thin that is.
And that's with the paper back on
backing.
So paper makes it so it doesn't crack and fall apart. But the idea would be, so we would take this and veneer this onto the side of here, which would, you know, we'd do the whole thing. And when I would do it is I would order a sheet like 8 foot long that would be long enough so this grain would just continue all the way around. So it would have that same grain that would go across, and then you would veneer the front and the back.
Yeah, so these are just sample sheets so you can see if you like it.
I brought these in so that we could take a look at them.
And you can see, like, if without that paper, this is how thin it is. It starts to crack and split
even
open.
With the paper, it'll
even
crack.
With the paper?
Yeah.
So we're gonna be delicate with that here.
Yep.
What do you think like a single speaker costs, like material?
A sheet of this is about $220 for a 4x8 sheet of veneer. So it's not cheap. Yeah. But, you know, the way that this could be done would be, you know, when the cases are manufactured, instead of being constructed this way, they'd be constructed still with Baltic birch, but the birch would have an outside ply of whatever that you would select on it. But then the cabinets would have to be constructed differently. Instead of them being butted together here where you see the edges of the plywood, this would be a miter cut across here, which would give you that nice look all the way around.
Yeah, and this is done this way because it's more cost effective. When you're just going to put like a thick coating on the outside, it would be a waste of money to do it.
Or paint them if they were just, you know, like these could be painted like a gloss black or a flat black or a white or something like that, and they would look fine. You would have to, you know, any of the voids you'd have to fill in with Bondo like you would use for an automobile, and then you'd paint over it, you know, and you'd seal this first. But since we'll probably be veneering them, that will be just fine.
So when you veneer something, how do you, like, do you have to do anything special to prep the wood? Or?
Just make sure that there's no voids or anything, but you can see, you know, like this has got what they call a football, you know, and that's pretty typical of this type of wood, of plywood. You can see there's like what we would call 1/2 inch. This is metric, but we'd call that 1/2 inch, and we would call this 3/4, which is on the face. I don't know what's on the back because we can't see that, but I'm assuming that the back is likely a little thicker. But like this here, like if I was to make these so that they're not wall mounted, but we wanted to put them on a stand, I'd take these clips off, I would fill this in, and I'd fill these voids in, and then I'd veneer the back as well.
Yeah. So when you veneer something, you said it's going to be like one long strip of wood, so it's a continuously wrapped.
You do each section at a time.
Okay.
So you'd put this on whatever on here. You would let it overhang, so you wouldn't have this on here.
Okay.
and you would let this overhang, and then it's glued on, so you would roll on an adhesive on here, and you would roll on the adhesive on here. You let it sit for a period of time, and then you put it over the top, and then you use a J roller and roll this in to get a good adhesion, and you let this overhang. Then you come back with a router with a trim bit on it, and that will cut it flush with the edges of the cabinet. And then you do the same for each one of these sections. You would do that, and then you would finish it.
So you're cutting it from that material so you see the continued grain, but then there's going to be like just a little like discontinued where it was trimmed off.
Well, you wouldn't see it because you're going to see that thickness, which you're not going to pick up. So that's what you're going to see. So no, this grain would continue. So you would cut this section, and then when you did this, you would cut that continuation section. You'd oversize it like a 1/2 inch all the way around. But yeah, you're going to have a little bit, but you don't have to make it much. And the straighter the grain we go, the easier it is. So if you were to go with a figured grain like this, that gets harder to match, because now if you cut this off and you move that forward, the grain might not match.
There's going to be a gap between where it started and
There won't be a gap, but the image will shift a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were telling me earlier, like a lot of the really high-end speakers like Sonus Faber that are just beautiful, like we don't know exactly, but a lot of those types of speakers will be MDF cabinets underneath because it's easier to cut those to shape.
Yeah, so they would CNC machine that. There'd be big blocks of MDF. Like if you have a big curved area, that would all be CNC machined, and then the veneer would be done, it'd be steamed and vacuumed onto the cabinet. I'm not saying Sonus Faber, we threw that out as a name. I don't know how they do theirs, but some of the more organic looking shapes of speakers that are maybe more sexy looking instead
curvy.
Of just being square, would likely be done that way with MDF.
Yeah, so they start with MDF, and that's like gives it that real deadens the sound.
Yeah, and not all MDF is created the same. There's different densities of MDF. There's different types of glue that's used in MDF. So there's much higher grade MDF than others that don't resonate. Like these are, pretty dead, which is what you want out of a speaker. They're dead.
You don't want it to ring like a bell.
You don't want it to resonate, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's you prep the surface, you fill out any voids, sand it, get it nice and smooth, I guess. Then you roll on your adhesive, then you roll on the material.
Yeah, it's a contact cement, like a well-bond contact cement.
And you said a J roller, is that kind of like a paint roller?
Yeah, it's got, it's a much heavier duty. It would be what, you might see tile installers for like linoleum floor. Use those back in the day.
So you press it on, let it dry, trim it, and then you do the next side. So we've got about rough dimensions. It's about
once it's on, it's contacted on. You don't have to let it dry. So once you get it pressed on, you can come in and you can use your trim router and come back and cut it in pretty quick.
So this is about, I'm going to guess, about 4 foot circumference and about a foot deep. So you're going to take 4 feet by 1 foot of material to just wrap that side. Now, would you normally wrap or veneer? I keep saying wrap, but would you normally veneer the back too?
If it was me, yes.
Okay.
If you wanted to be cost effective, you could just paint that like a matte black or a flat black. Yeah.
Okay. And then once you're done veneering, and it didn't take much cure time.
Then you would finish it either with an oil or a lacquer or some sort of finish.
Okay. So you don't have to do any final sand or anything?
Once, this is sanded to 220. I would likely sand this to 320. So I would give it a nice sand and remove any, you don't want too many sharp edges. There's a fine line between having it too rounded and having it too sharp. Like, right now this is pretty, it's a knife edge. So, this would, likely you would want to just knock the edge off a little bit,
Is it possible, or to round it enough to where you could just do one continuous piece of material? So
the way these cabinets are with the fasteners in here, no. You could come in with a router bit and we could, but you'd be pretty limited where you could go without hitting the fastener. So it'd be difficult.
I gotcha.
So one thing that, we had talked about that you could do is you could take a dimensional, when I say dimensional, I'm talking, 3/4, 5/8, 1/2 inch thick, solid lumber, not veneer, but a solid piece of walnut. We could take that and put that on the bottom if you were to have a foot, and you would have it stick out farther, and then you could chamfer that. And then maybe even leave the speaker black and just add some wood accents to the top and the bottom, which could make it look more, more appealing. It would look like a higher
character.
end piece, right? You know, and it would look more living room friendly than what, you know, obviously these being raw don't look great. But I think they would be, you know, appeal to anybody.
So let's see, let's kind of mock up what this might look like if this isn't really the best, but give you an idea of what that could look like.
Yeah.
Does that make it, using some imagination? Well, of course, this is the before shot. We'll come back later. Is that something that you can see it would make it living room friendly?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. It's not going to have, you know, there's not much we can do to change the shape of this, and I don't think that you would want to.
Okay.
The way that this is, I mean, the speaker is really close to the edge here, so you can't really do anything with the front. You possibly do something up here, but, you know, it would require a change in the design of the cabinet or adding another layer of wood over it. What that might do to the sound, I don't know. That'd be a question for Jeff. You know, if he thinks that I don't think it would change it so much, but, you know, it always could.
How much time do you think it would take to do like a speaker, like once you kind of found your rhythm?
I would say an hour, hour and a half.
Okay.
You know,
so
that's not including finish, but yeah, it's a little bit of time.
That's a project.
Right. Now, you know, if you're JTR and you're getting these made, that's not the case.
That's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
This is a science experiment for us.
This is to see what these could look like if we were to put some veneer on it. And we're looking at, you know, I think G&L Veneers has probably got 1,000 different veneers. I don't know. I mean, every species of wood from blonde colored like birch all the way through to oranges, reds, you know, full figured burls, you know, crazy stuff.
Yeah, I like that. Is it wingy or wingay?
Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce it. I always call it wingy.
Wingy. I like that, but once you put the oil on it, it gets really dark.
So if I was to just give an idea here, that you can see how dark that gets. So that gets dark pretty quick. Now, if you were to put like spray lacquer on there, it's not going to darken up much. It'll darken up a little bit, but it won't darken up as much.
It isn't
probably
like seep in as much or something.
No, it will still have this character. It'll still look like this.
Yeah, because that looks really cool like that, but when you make it that dark.
Yeah.
I'm really digging this one though.
Yeah,
I think that's the one.
This is the one that probably is going to look the best.
What do you think, Michael? Do you have a favorite?
I do like the fact, it's weird because this is what you typically see on a lot of speakers. You see the shape here. But so this is actually like one of the first times I've seen it to where you've got just these really, really straight lines. But like Joe was saying, that makes it easier to line that up and make it look like one big piece versus over here, a little bit more difficult to do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so these are quarter sawn. This one isn't. This is a different process, but you know, it gives you that straight grain.
And Joey,
this is a little bit more, I'll call it engineered than what these are.
And so I think you mentioned like this would be like a less expensive?
Least expensive to basically...
Well, the Weggy and this one are about the same price. But yeah, we kind of got it from least to more. So let's say this is $175 for a 4x8. Okay. This is like $220.
Okay.
Which this is still cool, but I feel like this gives it a kind of luxury vibe. I like it.
It's different than what you typically see on...
Well, and this is, and honestly, this with the styles and trends of furniture now, this is more consistent with what we're seeing people ordering. You know, we're getting away from the more figured woods, and we tend to go with more simplistic or simplified wood and grain structures.
What was it you called the style that's in vogue right now? It's very
mid-century.
Like, mid-century?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this isn't plain and simple, it's mid-century.
Yep.
That's the difference. All right. Well, are you thinking, where are you thinking right now as far as how, like if you were going to actually do this and keep them in your living room long term and you had to look at them every day, what would you do? Would you do the top thing or would you just veneer them?
I think I would veneer them.
With this one?
For me, I think that would be the look that I would want. But from a cost, like if, you know, JTR wanted to do something that was simple, the easy thing to do would be to put a solid top and a solid bottom on them and then just not do the acoustic paint, I guess is what he calls it, on you know, bed liner, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
On the speaker, but if they were to get painted kind of not a matte black, but maybe I don't want to say semi-gloss, but somewhere in there where they weren't shiny, but they weren't dull, I think that could look really cool too.
Okay.
And that would be more cost effective.
If we do this first stage, could we come back and add like a top and bottom later?
We could.
And that would that still look
We
cool?
could, yeah. And I mean, I could mock one up quite easily. You know, if we wanted to try it, we can just, we just need to get a regular 110 speaker and go ahead and I can get some wood and we can try it out and see what it looks like. I think it'd look pretty cool.
What are y'all thinking for grills? Because, with the way this is, are we just going to do this old school speaker cloth? Or is there anything like unique we can do? I mean, these are attached magnetically, and so the magnets have to face this direction. I didn't realize this until today. I tried to put it on. I didn't want to see the magnets, and it fights me. It won't fit on that way. So you have to do it this way.
But think about this. So that's how strong these magnets are that he uses, and that's one thing I really like, because a lot of times you get these small magnets and they don't line up. These lock in because they're so heavy duty.
Yeah, they're rare earth magnets. Yep.
Yeah.
So one thing that you could do, I think just the standard speaker grill would look great in black. But one of the things that we could do is we could veneer this over the front and then have just the speaker grill in the middle, which may look kind of key, or the speaker cloth in the middle, and veneer the rest of it. I don't know. I think, me personally, I think I would like this just a standard speaker grill, with the standard cloth.
Okay.
Like a black cloth, I think would look
Are
great.
you a grills on or grills off?
If it was me and I was a single guy, it'd be grills off.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that's most of us.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I like to see the speaker move. I think it's cool.
Yeah. Sure. So you say you'll have this done, what, 2-3 days?
Yeah, plus or minus a month.
All right. Well, Joe's a busy man. He's got a lot of OG products to design and get out and get working. So I think, and your garage is under construction at the moment. So I think we've got like a week and a half till you can use your garage. Is that right?
Yeah, I had the schedule wrong. Apparently the garage is starting the week after next, not next week.
Oh, so you can finish it before
I
they
could.
start.
I do have company coming into town this next week, so I'm not
they'll
sure.
understand.
Right, I'm not sure.
sure
And
they'll
I've got to be at somebody's house to work on their DI system.
Oh, well, he'll totally understand.
Right, he'll wait.
He's a very understanding guy. All right. What's next? Are we going to hook up this Marantz?
So we got the Marantz, so that's the big question. So we want to hook that up and see. So one of the things that we quickly realized, I won't be over here because they've got the mics on.
I'll lean into you.
Yeah, this room is just super, super echoey. We know that. We knew that going into it. But there's only so much that they're wanting to do acoustically to the room too. So I think no matter what, we're going to have some challenges. But we've got to find the right sound for them, the right look. And again, this is kind of like a science project. This is just something that we got permission from Jeff to just send us, he sent us this raw, unfinished, and just to see, like, let's play with this, because Jeff's done that before in the past when he was up in Wisconsin, but he had a woodworker that could do that. So when he moved to his new location, he doesn't have somebody that can do that. Of course, that's an additional cost that he would charge the customer. But we just wanted to have some fun. This was a project that we were working on together, and we just wanted to see, can we make it look really cool and different, and let's have some fun and see if he even likes the speakers. So we think he's going to love them once we get them set up. Matt thinks as soon as we get, the mic's over here, Matt thinks as soon as we get all the speakers, add a subwoofer in here, that's definitely going to change. But acoustically, it's still going to be challenging. I really think. Matt says, no way.
It definitely needs a sub. When we knew that.
Yeah, 100%.
But it needs a couple subs.
Yeah.
And I think a few curtains would help too.
Yeah. Because we just got lots of hard reflections. But so the reality is, this is undone. So
Part 1.
Yeah. We're going to pursue this and see what it sounds like. Do something cool. We may hook up the Marantz tonight, may not, but we'll do another video for you guys. Hope y'all have a incredible week. God bless. Take care.